I have to go into mythology to answer that one. When is the break, brother? See, y'all under the misguided conception that I like talking. You can ask my mother. I'm a very quiet person. I don't do a whole lot of talking. Ask my wife. Ask my children. Yeah, well. So in any case, I'll just do a little mythology so you can follow what I'm saying, okay? Now then, you know anus is a god of two cheeks. Yes, right, that's why you call it the anus, because it's a god of two cheeks, and you call these cheeks because of anus. But that hole was a sacred hole. So the bone that guards that hole is called the sacrum. Because the Greeks who named this body said that the only true hole is a man's asshole. So they call the vagina, it comes from the word pharamen, which means false hole. Vagina means false hole. Because the only true hole is a man's asshole. So I'm talking about the names of these things, because when you study anatomy, all you're doing is studying culture. You're studying all these names come from somewhere. Just like when you study psychology. Psychology is based on a story called Oedipus. You heard of ego and all that stuff is? Have you heard that? It was based on a story about Oedipus. And Oedipus was an abandoned child. Oedipus was abandoned. Superman was an abandoned child. Hercules was an abandoned child. Hansel and Gretel, may I go on? Must I go on? That everything you've read is about an abandoned child? Hercules, Superman, Paris, Cadillac, Oedipus. Haven't you ever wondered why every damn thing you study from the Europeans is about an abandoned child? Romulus and Remus were abandoned. Haven't you ever wondered why everything is about an abandoned child? Don't you know where you come from? They had mangoes, papayas, fruits, vegetables, indoor plumbing, clothing, textile mills, silversmiths, goldsmiths, family structures, grandmother, plenty of everything. You know where they come from? The caves. Land frozen over, shortage of water, shortage of food. And they looked down at Africa and said, my God has abandoned me. They ain't have nothing. So everything they deal with is about being abandoned. That's why they say you can't trust your mind. It has animal instincts. Because your mind is named after Oedipus, who was abandoned. You can't trust your mind. It has evilness in it. It was abandoned by God. Everything is about some abandoned child. It's right in front of your face. You're in the forest, don't see the trees. So we're getting into this mythology, which is this European thing called biology, chemistry, and science is sitting on. We're looking at the names of muscles and bones, and like you say, the deltoid, you've heard of that? The trapezoid, you heard of that? Yes. Oh, it's no accident these names now. Remember Hercules had these 7 challenges? You heard of the 7 deadly sins, lust, greed. So he had to overcome these 7 challenges so he can be a man. So one of these challenges made him go through this swamp. He had to go through a swamp, but the swamp was guarded by a 3-headed crab monster called Hydra. Hydra means water. You heard of fire hydrant, hydro, all that? Yeah, see, this is where this word comes from. It comes from Hydra, the 3-headed crab monster. But we don't say head in medicine, we say seph. We say seph. You heard of encephalitis? Yeah, we say seph. So what I'm saying is, his brother's name was Ilios, which he was by this watery swamp. And you have a valve in your stomach, down in your small and large intestines called ileocecal valve, named after Ilios. So Ilios cut off the head of the 3-headed crab monsters so Hercules could get through it. He trapped the 3-headed crab monster in the deltoid swamp and killed him. 3 heads, bicep, tricep. You heard of that? Yes. Deltoid swamp, trapezoid, Ilios, Hydra. It's nothing but a story. But it attaches you to their culture, you see. You know all of these myths, and so you call in these gods. You call in the god anus and the god vagina, which means false hole. You call in this spirit to your body. Because biology and chemistry is nothing but culture. It's all about culture. Even if they don't steal food, they have to say they steal food to eat the food, because they got to attach culture to their food. The Europeans do that. When they had the Ice Age, the land was frozen. There was a shortage of food, so they had to go around stealing food from each other. They had to go around snatching food, snack food. See? Snack food, snatch food. So they got to think they stole the food even to eat it, because they're still attaching culture to food, but you're not doing it. Spaghetti is nothing but symbolic of semen. Don't you understand? Cat soup is menstruation fluid of the cat. That's why you put ketchup on the semen and eat it. Spaghetti, you know what I'm talking about. You slurp up that little semen. I know y'all don't get excited about this. Well, I'm not going to go there. I don't want to bother anybody who's sexually challenged. All I know is anatomy. All I know is anatomy. And as far as I know, the asshole was made for turds. As far as I know. And the mouth was made for food. As far as I know. What I'm saying is, there's no gene that makes me want to stick my penis in a turd and stuck in a man's ass. I don't know who taught you that. It's kind of dangerous for me to stick my penis in some mouth with teeth in it. I ain't that crazy. So I don't know who taught you this stuff. But as far as anatomy and physiology go, you cannot prove to me that the mouth has any sex gland in it. Or the ass has any sex gland. It has no sexual function. I'm talking anatomy here. Oh, I was born this way. You were also born a damn fool, too. You got a fool gene in you, too. So when you run through the red light, what you gonna say to the police? You're abusing me because I was born different. I was born a fool. I was born different. You're abusing me. That's why I ran through the red light. I'm a fool. It's in my genes. I don't think that's gonna play, brother. I really don't. All these genes do is give you the option for behaviors. It makes you out a moving target. So you get all these options from your genes. That's all it does. It's just options that you have, because behavior is not defined by a gene. Behavior is very complex. Behavior involves your hormones, involves reactions, involves your diet, involves your mother, your father, your neighborhood, where you're raised from, your economics, your demographics. That's the ratio of men to women. It involves all of that is what you call behavior. Behavior is not determined by no damn gene. Behavior is very complex, and plus genes change their damn mind. Sometimes they want to be a color gene, sometimes they want to be a sound gene. They're from the hood. I don't know who's been teaching y'all this stuff here. But I was in a lot of classrooms in a lot of places in the world, but I'm telling you, white folk are white folk. And I'm in the classroom minding my own damn business, and they come out with this joke when I was studying physiology. It was in some ways. Anyway, it was a white teacher, and it was all white people in my class, so right away I had a problem. You know. See, because I'm beyond issues. I got damn chapters. I got chapters. I ain't got no damn issues. I'm telling you, stuff that happened to me. So this crackazoid was in my class, and he was telling a joke, and so all the kids were laughing. I'm sitting there, you know, like, how am I going to laugh at this stuff? He said, these white people went on a safari in Africa. So they got themselves a guide. And the guide said, well, we're going to go through this jungle here. And the white missionaries and all the people said, well, we heard they're cannibals in there, and they may eat us. And the black guy said, don't worry about it. They're not going to eat you. They're not cannibals. All they eat is beans. Okay, so they go through the little jungle, and all of a sudden, they wake up in there in a pot of boiling water. These crackers in the pot with boiling water. And the people cutting up celery and carrots and shit, boiling them, everything, excuse me. And they turned to the black guy and said, I thought you said all they ate was beans. Yes, human beings. So the little cracker teacher, he was laughing and everything, and you know what I'm saying, damn, you know. The racism just come from all these different angles, you know what I mean? And I'm getting mad, and everybody say, what you getting upset about? It's just a joke. It was just a joke. Anyway, see, I'm getting ready to get upset now. These are the leading causes of death in America, which there are no vaccinations for. Heart disease, cancer, stroke, lung disease. There are no vaccinations for this stuff. And as far as vaccinations go, if all the kids in the school are vaccinated, and you send your child to school and it's not vaccinated, your child's not vaccinated, why the hell should they worry? Duh. Only your child's the one going to get sick. So why should they worry? Just another dead nigga. So something's wrong with this picture here. No, it's about control. So I'm talking about heart disease, cancer, stroke, lung disease. Those are the ones that are getting us. Now remember this. When the cell loses at least 60% of its oxygen, we're going to call it cancer any damn way. In my health business. Now they have all kinds of definitions. They change the definition from disease from one time to another. They don't tell you, but they'll change it, expand it, modify it, because they're after their market share. They'll change the generation of drugs. That's the first generation of drugs. Now we're on the fourth generation. What happened to the third generation of the drug? It's all about the Benjamins. The patents start loosening up on Prozac, and everybody start getting in the market. They come out with another generation of the drug to shut out their competitors. It has nothing to do about the health. They're just blocking out the small boys in the marketplace. Now they're going to the fifth generation. So your fourth generation drugs can't be sold because they say that drug was bad. We gave it to people, but it's bad. You ever hear them say that? Yeah. They're into another generation of drugs. They're just killing out their competitors. It's about the Benjamins. So we were talking earlier about when you're under stress, your blood pressure, you have to visualize running from a tiger. That fires off your sympathetic nervous system, so your heart races and speeds up, you're breathing more, you see? And so when you're running from a tiger, you don't have time to sit down and eat. Excuse me, tiger, I want to eat this pig foot. No, you got it. So the body shuts down the digestive system. It decreases the blood to the digestive system, so you don't have time to have sex, you're running from a tiger. So it decreases the blood to the reproductive system, which means they're going to hold more waste. So then you say, I'm running for a tiger, I need insulin, which is a hormone, so I can break down the sugar so I can get the energy to run. So it all makes kind of sense. You say sympathetic stress means my heart rate's going to increase, I'm going to breathe more, I'm going to decrease the blood to my immune system because I don't need that when I'm running from a tiger, I don't need to eat anything, and I don't need sex. And you start to say, wait a minute, all the diseases affecting black people in this city are related to stress. Diabetes, because you need to break down the sugar, heart disease, because you're running from the tiger, shut down the blood supply to your reproductive organs, prostate cancer, prostatitis, fibroid tumor, endometriosis. You follow me? Everything is related to a race under stress, but we don't see it. We're in the forest, we don't see the trees. So you have to eat a certain way when you're under stress. It's the same as a bodybuilder. He cannot eat a chess player's diet. It don't make sense. You got to eat a diet conducive to the condition that you are in. You can't eat white folks' diet. You got to eat a diet conducive for a runaway slave. So you're not eating the diet you need to get out of this situation. You have to constantly flush the waste out of your system from breathing this bad-ass air. You have to drink red clover this week, burdock root next week, dandelion root the other week, echinacea, golden seal. Then you go back around and mix red clover with dandelion root. I'm going to drink that this week. Because you're constantly being polluted by, even if you drink in spring water or this damn smart water, and I'm so stupid I forgot where I put the damn thing. I'm sure getting smarter, I can see that. Even if you're drinking this stuff, what you going to take a bath in? Polluted water. So you still have to flush the toxins out of your system. Red clover, dandelion root, burdock root, sassafras, echinacea, golden seal, chaparral. Get some blood cleansers, take them every damn week. You breathe in polluted air, taking a bath in polluted water. It kind of makes sense. And there's no need of thinking somebody's going to save you that can't save their own damn self. Some of y'all go to these people, it's crazy. Going to dentists that don't have teeth, what the hell? I mean, what can you say? What can you say? A person should look like what they do. If you see a bodybuilder, you don't have to ask him, say he looks like a bodybuilder. I don't even have to ask him. If you see a doctor or a nurse, they should be the healthiest person in this damn room. You say, oh, I never talked to him, but he's so damn healthy, he must be a doctor. He should look like what he do. That's just common sense. That's melanin sense. But you're not using your melanin. You're using watermelon. They should look like what they do, damn it. But let me go on, because I got to talk about something scientific. Because these Negroes going to go report to the master what the brother said. Because I hear it all the time, you know. Y'all think everybody in here is all culture and all that. They ain't. They ain't. Someone say Assalamu Alaikum, someone say Hotep and all that stuff. They in the club. They players. Sticking their little penis in a rubber coffin. The talcum powder causes cysts and tumors. The gel causes cancer. It also causes inflammation, pelvic inflammatory disease, and endometriosis. That's what the rubbers do. Everything they make hurts you. Everything they make hurts you. An airbag will snap the head off a child, because everything they make will hurt you. Clarence Thomas, you heard him? They made him too. Everything they make will hurt you. Their education hurts you. Everything they make hurts you. Don't you know that by now? They taking all the jobs out of America, giving them to the Chinese and Twineese and all these cans and the Caribbeans and the Puerto Ricans and everybody. They're taking all the jobs away from us Negroes. No, they ain't. They're expanding their control. 60% of the tennis sneakers are made in China. That means China is dependent on the U.S. The U.S. can say, I'm taking the tennis market from you. And they're going to bow to the U.S. That's why they have never come to our rescue. During slavery, during the civil rights movement, none of them. The Japanese, Chinese, or Koreans, none of them. You go to a damn bank. Go to the Korean bank and try to open up a bank account. Prove me wrong. Go to the Chinese bank here in New York and try to open up a bank account. Wrong bank, wrong bank. They're not on your side. You better be clear on that. You're on this one alone. You're the only one standing up to this white boy saying he's wrong. The only one. Japanese ain't saying a damn thing. Chinese ain't saying nothing. We're the only one calling him a white racist. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just trying to honor Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and Martin Luther King at this point. Because everybody said they racist crack except y'all. Going to hell eating white sugar. I'm getting smart. I assumed that I lost at least 60% of my intelligence in kindergarten from eating that damn graham crackers and milk. Look at here.
Well, they're feeding worse things now.
Yeah, they got McDonald's, Krispy Kreme, and the Burping King, and the Dairy Queer. All of them in the schools there. And in the hospitals. They all over the place. You don't stand a chance now. Well, I'm showing you something here. These are like links on a bike's chain. And we call this nerves. And how the nerves sends a signal. We got dendrites and axons. We get into all these words. Because science is a very awkward way to explain truth to people. Because we got to give you all this language, you know, mitochondria, pancreas, and all this. We switch language, so science has all these formulas and stuff. Science is a very awkward way to explain truth. I can explain truth easier with spirituality than with science. It's very easy to do with spirit. Somebody can talk to you, sound real nice, look real nice, and you walk away and say, I got a bad feeling from him. You see what I'm saying? Your spirit can cut through all that language they were doing, all that stuff they were doing to convince you that they're honest, and you walk away and say, I got a bad spirit feeling from him. I don't know what about it. It's something strange, you know. The spirit goes right to it quicker. So I'm just trying to reach your spirit at this point, because language ain't doing it. I've been using language for 25 years. Nobody listens to me. They still listen to McDonald's. I'm telling you. Them damn 3 queers, Snack, Crackle, and Pop get more attention than me. I'm telling you. And let me tell you about the Jolly Dream Giant. Let me tell you about that. Look at here. Everybody in that damn valley comes up to his penis. Ho, ho, ho. That's why he's hanging around them midgets. I'm not going to go into another. I got attitude about some other people, too. Anyway, let's go back to this. What I'm saying is, your feelings of well-being is like in the center of the area of your brain. We call it your limbic system, the hypothalamus. I'm going to all these words again. There's a part of your brain that we target with drugs and with commercials. We're not after that intellectual part. We're after this limbic system. We're after your ability to feel good about yourself. That's what we're trying to mess up. That's what we do with these endocrine disruptive chemicals that we call it. Certain chemicals that are similar to DDT, they gave them to seagulls, and you get female seagulls that mate with other female seagulls forever, just by giving them these chemicals. We can change your whole personality because we target in this area of the brain, you see? And when you take these chemicals, white sugar, bleached white flour, white rice, it messes up your nerves. It gets in there, so you become addicted to things. You can become addicted to radiation. You've seen it many times. A person will be asleep in the room with a TV on, and you turn it off, what they're going to do? You took away their high. They're addicted to the radiation. Because the radiation becomes a chemical in the body. It becomes a liquid. Everything becomes a liquid. You think you're seeing this light. No, you're not. That light strikes the retina, rods and cones in your eyes, and they shake and turn it into a chemical, and it floats to your brain, and your brain says, I saw something. So everything is liquid. You hear a sound, yeah, but it's a sound when it strikes that eardrum, but after that, it shakes that water, it turns into a chemical. So everything is making a chemical, a liquid. And the radiation does the same thing too. You can get addicted to alcohol, you can get addicted to sugar, you can get addicted to anything synthetic. It's hard to get someone addicted to apples. It's hard. Until you dip it in red dye, then you got it. Because we're trying to put the chemicals in every damn thing to get you addicted to our product so we can continuously make money off of you. The chemicals are making you a chemical slave. We already made you out of psychological slave. Because most of us think we can't even exist without white people. You get one of these jobs and all your friends will say, why you quit that job? That was a good job. You had a good master. Why you run away from the plantation? That's what they're saying to you. Your friends. These are some of the ingredients in the chewing gum. The chewing gum. D-U-M-B. They have aluminum in it. You make pots and pans out of, you heard of that? They have turpentine in it. They call it polyterpene. They have wood tar that's made from burnt wood. They have coal tar that's made from burnt coal. They have petroleum waste in it. This is chewing gum. And the same ingredients in the chewing gum are in the toothpaste. Then they have these preservatives, BHA, which cause cancer, BHT, which cause cancer, plasticizers that dissolve skin, aspartame, which causes nerve damage. The most reports for aspartame to the Center of Disease Control are for nerve damage. I'm talking about sweet and lower you to the grave and all them other names they give you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It causes nerve damage, cancer, cysts, and tumors. They have polysobutylene. I think you call that lighter fluid. Yeah, you chewing a damn cigarette lighter. What happened was some white boy had a lot of used tires in the junkyard. Said, "What you gonna do with them?" "I'm gonna buy these tires pink, put some sugar on them, sell them to the niggers." Walking around chewing a rubber tire. Now, ain't you dumb? But I don't pick on nobody in particular. I pick on everybody that buys perfume-scented toilet paper when their ass can't smell it. You can't get no more dumber than that. They have no respect for you whatsoever in the food industry. Buy anything. And this Pringle, methyl, what does that thing have? It has some stupid name in there for wood pulp. Methylcellulose, that's what they call it. That's wood pulp. That's in Pringles. You buy any damn thing. Whey was prevented from being put in the ground because it said it would damage the damn soil. That's W-H-E-Y, whey. The Environmental Protection Agency said, don't put it in the ground, it'll damage the soil. The Food and Drug Administration said, well, just put it in the damn food. Niggers eat it. This is a hair relaxer. No lie hair relaxer. We know it has petroleum in it, which is mineral oil, which dries your skin. Mineral oil, Vaseline intensive care, that's what they mean. They're trying to put your ass in intensive care. Because mineral oil is a fossil fuel and your body cannot digest it. And it just clogs up your pores and dries your skin. You're doing things to weaken your immune system when you need it up to speed because you live in this condition. You're in a combat zone here. The air's attacking you, the water's attacking you, the radiation from the TVs, the cables, the beepers, the cell phones. You're supposed to live at least 2 miles from a hospital because it's so toxic. And people go there when they're sick. So they have calcium hydroxide in it, which is a type of lye in the no-lye hair conditioner. Destroys hair, skin, nerves, bones, blood, and glands. Calcium hydroxide. You call it a depilatory magic slave. You know, you put it in your skin and it gets in your blood and gets all over, damage yourself. Yeah. See, I got a whole thing about slave and slave master anyway. See, I'm messed up. I'm just totally, I can't even deal with a MasterCard. I just can't deal with it. I don't see how a Negro can own a MasterCard. The whole concept just gets me. I told you I had chapters, didn't I? Yeah. Calcium hydroxide burns your skin, your eyes, your throat. You can die from shock if you accidentally swallow it. And these folks are putting it in their hair, which gets into their skin, which gets into their blood. It is also used to make cement and fireproof roofs. Polyquartinium, which is lye, is in the no-lye air conditioner. No lie. I'm not going to go on with this, because I'm allowed to take a break now. So we're going to take a break for about 15 minutes so y'all can buy some tapes and stuff like that so you won't ask me all these questions. Because the tapes go like they're 2 hours where I just explain one subject, where I'm just jumping all around right now. But I break it down for 2 hours. So we're taking a, if you say half an hour, they're going to think it's an hour. We're taking a 15-minute white man break. Oh yeah, so we're going to get into a little home test here that you can do to kind of gauge where you are in your wellness. Remember I talked earlier, you don't want to get ripped off. You should have some kind of way of testing where your wellness is. And for this test, it requires a sample of your urine and your saliva, and you use pH paper, and I have pH paper with me. It costs $5 for 3 feet. Or you can go to one of these stores, Walmart, if y'all have it in New York. Y'all have Walmart? I don't know. Yeah, well, the stores sell pH paper. It's no problem, but you won't be able to get it for $5. I'll tell you that flat out. So what we're going to do is go over this information so you have a familiarity with a way in which you can test your system. So we have to start looking at things a little different. We're trying to look at the science that's involved with the art of healing. They always say it's a healing art, but they never talk about the science part of this art, because we look at things different in the naturopathic way than where allopathics look at it. But when you're taught about science or chemistry or something, you're taught that there's only one chemistry. Yes. And I got it on. You say there's only one chemistry and only one biology, but then when you think, you say it's not one flower in the world, it's not one language in the world, it's not one race in the world, it's not one planet in the world. So why does this white man tell you there's only one science in the world, and that's his science? So after a while you say, no, there's another way to approach science. Before the scientist can look at something, he has to look through the filter of his culture. The culture screens out things and make him not see things that are even there. The problem with being a human being is you can see stuff and not see it. Animals, if they see a fire, you can say whatever you want. You can say that's blue or whatever you want to say. If they see fire, they're going to react. But a person, you can teach them, say, this smoke is good for you. This will give you a good feeling. So you change the way they see smoke, and you say, now wait a minute, if somebody put a baby in a room full of smoke, would that be healthy? If I were to go in a room full of smoke, would that be healthy? You say, wait a minute, what you mean this smoke is good for me, but the other smoke is bad for me? So you have to change the way you see things. It's like when somebody says marijuana is good for you. Yeah, marijuana is a plant that's good for you, but when you strike a match to it, you turn it into a chemical. Now you're talking about a chemical you made from marijuana. That's what we're talking about. Well, isn't marijuana a herb? I said, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you're talking about, Negro. We're talking about you put a match to it, and when you put a match to that marijuana, you change it into a chemical, and therefore it causes the same damage as any chemical would cause. You see? So we got to change our whole way of looking at this thing. There's another way of looking at science. We see science as a family thing. We're African people. Like when you come down my way down south, you show up there, somebody say, who are your people? They want to know who your people are. Who are your family? Who are you connected to? So when we look at chemistry and biology, we're looking for a family relationship. When you see a B vitamin, you say, okay, B vitamin is B1, B2, B5. Well, you're just talking about the B family. But if you're a European, you don't understand all this cousin and nephew. You say, this is a complex. This is a B complex. No, it's the B family. Because they can't see this thing called family, where your cousin and your grandmother and all these people running and all out of your house, eating out of your fridge and all. You know what I mean? Showing up and eating all your damn food. You know my cousin Willie. Oh, wait a minute, that's a sidebar. So in any case, I'm talking about a family relationship. So when we're talking about, like, you say the lady has an egg, and the egg gets fertilized, and it becomes a fetus, and the embryo, and a child. Well, it's just one cell in that egg, and we call it the germ cell. And all the other cells just support this one cell. You call it like a queen bee in the hive. It's the same thing that goes on with this egg. It has one germ cell, and all these other cells support it. It's like a guy has 1 million sperm, yeah, but there's only one major or two major sperms in there, and the other sperm are just supporting the brother. So they help eat away the shell around the egg, so this one sperm can get in. It's a family relationship where everybody's just sharing to help. You see? But the Europeans don't see that. They always see something that's got to be a damn fight. Even if it isn't a fight, they're going to make it into a fight. because they're always fighting someone or getting ready to get in a fight. Oh, you aware of white people? Are they somewhere fighting now?
Yes.
When you met them, weren't they fighting?
Yes.
That's what they do. So when they see a fight, it's got to make a fight or be in a fight. That's what we call the law of the caves, by the way. This is what their culture sits on. They either got to get ready to attack someone, or they are attacking someone, they're preparing for attack or being attacked. If those things are not happening, they consider themselves weak. Let me go over it again. Either they are fighting someone, or they're getting ready to fight, or someone is coming to fight them. If those three things are not happening at all times, they consider themselves weak. That's the law of the caves. You got to know what this thing is sitting on. So when they see a bacteria, they say, damn, it's fighting somebody. Now, you think about it. You say, wait a minute. I got a cold, my lungs are full of mucus, and I'm still eating a Krispy Kreme donut and the fried potatoes and white sugar and salt, and so the cold is not going away. The mucus keeps accumulating. So the body says, well, this Negro in charge of me is going to kill my ass. So the body says, let me heat up this mucus and make it thin so I can get rid of it. And then you got an inflammation. But this heating up of the tissue causes the tissue to overheat and rot and die. Now you got rotten tissue. Now what happens when there's rotten stuff in a garbage can? What will happen? Flies will come. So the bacteria comes. Yeah. So we're looking at potential of hydrogen, which we call pH. So we have a range in which we want to do it at. Yes. No, I'm going to show them the test paper. I'm showing them to them. So we have a range that we're setting as the ideal range. We're saying we want to get you between 6.4 and 6.8. We want to get you in that window. And nobody's writing on their form, are they? Okay. So we're saying that you're 6.4 and you say, well, I'm 6.6, that's no big deal. That's just a 2 points higher, 6.4 to 6.6, that's no big deal. No, we're looking at what we call in math a logarithm. It's a number that represents another number. Like you say 1 dozen eggs. So you say I have 3 dozen eggs, I only lost 1 dozen, so that's not many. You say, no, wait a minute, that's 12 eggs, right? So when you lose, you're going from 6.4 to 6.6, you done lost 2 dozen eggs. You follow me? It's a big jump. So don't think it's a small thing. So this is just the progression of a disease. Both of the black people tend to be a little more alkaline than white people. You might have to know that. So if you're a little more alkaline, that doesn't mean too much, because that's what you're supposed to be. I mean, we are different chemically. So we're looking at 6.4 for your urine, 6.4 for your saliva. Now, if both of your numbers are alkaline, you say, well, maybe I'm getting a little bit bad. But this is the top number, your urine becomes acid, and your saliva is alkaline. You say, no, I'm getting a little severe. Then you're getting a little chronic. When both of those numbers are acid, acid we say is anything below 6.4. 6.6 is alkaline. 6.0 is acid. 5.5 is what? 7.0 is what? You're there. Now you know this information, right? It's on your form. It's on the form. Why are people writing? It's on the form. Now, I don't mean to be hard on you cheering, but let me tell you something. Upside down. Use your melanin, brother. This is just a male principle and female principle. I got it out here. When you're under the male principle, you're burning glucose, because glucose gives you quick burning energy. Female principle, you want slow burning energy, which means you're burning fat. You follow it? After a while, it's going to make sense. Glucose, sugar affects your consciousness more than anything else. When that sugar level jumps, you can have mood swings, you can't concentrate, anything. Glucose. Fats. Now we look, the female principle is subconscious, the male principle is conscious. The female principle is in the sublime light, the male principle is in the limelight. You follow me? Yes. You can say the male principle is mental, the female principle is emotional. We're just classifying energy here. The male principle deals with stress, the female principle deals with relaxation, the male principle deals with destruction, the female principle deals with growth, the male principle deals with heat, the female principle deals with cold, the male principle deals with lie, the female principle deals with truth. We're just classifying energy. It has nothing to do with brothers lying now, because we don't do that. I'm just classifying energy. That's all. The problem is when you're standing up here in front of an audience, which they call the village sitting in the chairs listening to me, you're dealing with different ways of learning. So I have to mix it up, because everybody doesn't learn the same way. Some people are visual learners, they have to see it. Some people are auditory learners, I can just say it and they got it. So some people are visual learners, some people are auditory learners, some people are tactile rhythm learners. So you have to know how the person learns to talk to them. A visual person will say, I see what you're talking about, that's not clear to me. They use a lot of visual words. So when you talk to them, use visual words. An auditory person will use auditory words. That don't sound right, that sounds funny to me. They use auditory words, so when you talk to them, use auditory words. Use their program. A rhythm person or a tactile person will use touch words. That didn't grab me. That didn't feel right. That didn't move me. So when you talk to them, use those kind of words. So you have to listen to the person to find out how they learn so you can talk to them on their program. You follow me? Yes. We already went through male program, female program. You always tell a brother or sister talking to a man, she has to tell a man how she thinks, because emotion will not register. So just tell him how you think first and how you feel second. And if a man's talking to a woman, he tells a woman how he feels first and how he thinks second. So you got to know which sex you're talking to, how they learn. Follow me? Yes. Then you have to figure out whether they're sequential learners or random learners. A sequential learner is like you ask them to do something and say, no, I got to finish this first. Let me finish this, then I, because they got to do things in sequence. A random learner, they got a half a book over there they started, a magazine over there they're reading, something in there under their bed they half-ass finished. They bouncing all around. They random learners. There's nothing wrong with that. So when you talk to them, you can bounce around. But you're talking to a sequential person, you better make sure one thought logically follows the next one, or you lose them. They say, they get all confused because you're not following the sequence. You got to figure out whether it's sequential or random. Then you have to figure out whether they're abstract or concrete. A concrete learner would be like a boy. You say, look, don't go out in that backyard, climb that tree, because you fall down, you're going to bust your ass. So don't climb that tree. Now, if he's concrete, he's going to climb that tree, fall down, bust his ass. He said, now I know why I shouldn't climb that tree. Because he's concrete. But if he's abstract, the mother say, don't go in the backyard unless I'm out there, because something may happen. He said, yeah, that's right, I may climb the tree, hurt myself. He's abstract. So you got to figure out whether the person's concrete, abstract, sequential, random, auditory, visual, rhythm. You follow me? And all of this you should have known when you were 12 years old if you went through your rites of passage. This is when you learn. If you just learned this today, you're retarded. Somebody took our village from us. We already knew this stuff before we came over here on them slave ships. Somebody took our village from us. That's why we're behind in all of this stuff. That's why you got me here. Because this is part of the village I was supposed to participate in, but the white boy stopped me from doing that. You know? He made all this confusion in my life. You got to do this. You got to do that. Yeah. So I go to school. I major in mathematics. I didn't like this shit. I majored in mathematics. I made so many C's in calculus, I dropped out. My math teacher said, don't drop out because it's going to click. I didn't start making A's till I went for my master's. He said, don't do it. So I stopped taking calculus. So I said, I'm going to take biology. Then the woman gave me a rat and a mink and a monkey, and I had to cut these brothers up. So I said, damn, what can I do to pass in this class without cutting up this damn monkey and this mink and all this stuff? And the woman said, you got to make an A on the final. I said, you got a deal. That was it. So I didn't take any lab. I just made an A on the final. But then when I took the other course, I took a physiology course, and they gave me my own dead white person. I had a cadaver where I could just cut open, look at the kidney, you know. So I could deal with that, because every time I get mad at white people, I just stab that. You know, I had my own white person. I just slap that over. Fucking with me, are you? I'm telling you, I was so happy they gave me my own white person. So I took that class. No, I got chapters. I told y'all that from the beginning. Yeah. So we're talking about the male and female principle. The male principle is sympathetic nervous system. Decrease your digestion, increase your circulation, increase your respiration, decrease blood to your reproductive system. All these, it's a system of checks and balances. When one system is at rest, the other system is active. It's checks and balances. So sometimes they'll fool you and you won't look for the family. They say, well, this plant here, soybeans, got a dangerous chemical in it, and it's going to hurt you. So you shouldn't eat that chemical. But that chemical is in there to keep the other chemical in check and balance. It's no harm. It's a husband and wife, male and female relationship. You see? But they never tell you about this family relationship. So they look at one thing and say, that's bad. It's an alkaloid in this plant. You don't want it. Yeah, but that alkaloid is keeping the other thing in check, which is there to keep the other thing in check. They never say that anything about the male and female principle being complementary. Because that's how we look at each other as African people. A man and a woman are complementary sexes. Yeah. But to a Greek, they're opposite sexes. You're not opposite. God made you as a complement to each other. The man is a complement to the woman. We're complementary sexes. That's how African people look at each other. But not to the Greeks. That's the opposite sex. Because to a Greek man, his first love is another man. Right. I'm telling you how it goes. Even when they got married, they would bring their lover to the wedding. The man would bring his lover to the wedding. You know what he called his lover? The best man. I'm marrying you, but that's my best man. I'm telling you, this thing is sicker than what I'm telling you. They put it in your face and you don't even see it. Put the right in the forest, don't even see the damn trees. So what we're talking about is a pH paper, and it has this colors on it. And you dip the little paper in your urine, and if it changes colors, it's going to indicate a pH level. You see, this is the one you want. You want this range from 6.4 to 6.8. You don't want to get way up in here. But remember I told you about the colors before? What did I tell you was yellow and orange and red? Did I tell you it was a female color or male color? And sure enough, it's male even in these damn tests. Acid, male, it's male. This is acid. Didn't I tell you the male principle is what? Blue, indigo, and violet are? It's even on their tests. But after a while you say, where's this stuff coming from? They didn't lie so much. You know what? They lie out the side of their mouth. Yes. You know they do. Yes. And what do they tell you? When you read the drug stuff, they said, this is a side effect. Yeah, it's coming out the side of the damn mouth. They tell you where they're coming from. You're just not listening to them. So we're talking about testing our urine and saliva so we can see how effective that meditation you're doing, that deep breathing. We can see how effective your herbs you're taking are doing, because this thing should improve. Your health should improve. If what you're doing is working, then you should see some improvement. Or else you need to add something else to your regimen or take out something from your regimen. You follow me here? Because you can measure what's going on. This is your pee. This came out of you. This is the end process of digestion. The saliva is the beginning. So you got the beginning and the end. You realize the urine comes out, that's the end of, when you drink the water, that's beginning. Do you follow me? Saliva, water, mouth, end. So we got it. So that means the water has been destroyed when it comes out of the urine, right? That's urine. Yes. Destruction is the male principle. You follow me? Yes. So the saliva represents the female principle. The urine represents the male principle. After a while, this thing is going to click. Remember, you ain't never seen a rat with a textbook. And they can figure things out. And so can you. Now the problem is, what I'm showing you here is alkalinity and acid as it relates to the body. We find it out that the smallest cells in your body, with all that darn water, is the brain. And the largest cells in your body, with no water, is the bones. So after a while you say that makes sense. The brain is sitting up in all that water down. This bone is, after a while you say bone is not all that water. There's no water there, it's just bone. Say, okay, that makes sense. So we're talking about the brain, lungs, testicles, ovaries. So if a person is staying acid all the time, what's happening to this? No nourishment. You follow me? During the course of the day, you have a rhythm cycle. You have a rhythmicity to your body. You have an AM and a PM. AM is male, PM is female. Vertical is male, horizontal is female. We classify everything. Everything is classified. To someone in New York, when it snows, it's just snow. Ask Eskimo. He'll tell you powdery snow, wet snow, dry snow, puff snow. They know snow. So I'm trying to tell you, this is something that has the same kind of breakdown too. You're getting into the quality of things. Quality is what? Quantity is what? Everything that deals with quantity is male. Males deal with quantity, females deal with quality. We have a large quantity of sperm. The lady has 1 egg a month, correct? Yes. So she wants to get the best quality that she can with that 1 egg. Men go for quantity, not quality. You call it mauve and all these damn different colors. Y'all give red lipstick to a brother's red lipstick. But you're going into all these qualities of red. Do you follow me? Yeah, ladies naturally go for quality, the men go for quantity. Okay, who you think is going to get the most attention? A lady with 2 fried eggs up here, or a lady with a triple D, double D cup? You know, one that works for a damn dairy. You know, stuff out there. Who's going to get the attention? The one with the quantity. Right? Okay. Y'all not getting this one. I see that. Okay. But just understand that your body has this rhythm it's going to go through. And you're going to test your urine. You have your form? I don't have a form. I need a form. Somebody help the brother out. Thank you, my sister. That was good quality. The quantity didn't give me a damn thing. So we're looking at alkalinity. That's things moving slow. Acid, that's males moving fast. So we're saying when you're very alkaline, the body's trying to get rid of this stuff that's making the blood thick. So the liver's trying to break down that stuff, and we call that liver stress. Because the liver's trying to get this thickness out of the blood. While the liver's concentrated on breaking down the waste in the blood, it's not concentrating on digestive enzymes. So the digestive enzymes are put on hold, so now you got weak digestive enzymes. And it's following the sequence on the form. You're reading the form? Yes. Carlene, you're not reading the phone. You're copying up there. You shook your head yes and was writing all the time. I saw y'all. You know, I'm an old school teacher, and some of y'all doing things that irritate me. Some of y'all chewing gum, and I used to put people out of my class that chew gum. I make them go to the trash and put it in there. Sometimes I write a note home to your mother, and I'm gonna write home to some of y'all mothers. That's what I'm gonna do. Cause some of y'all need an ass whipping. So in any case, the liver is not breaking down the food, so the food is fermenting and making gas. Got it? Yes. So what's after weak digestive enzyme? Gas. So it's following the sequence. Now the gallbladder, because you got all that thick sludge in your blood, the gallbladder that stores the stuff from the liver is thick. And when it's thick like that, it's got a lot of wasted, dead cells in it. When cells fall apart, they cause minerals. You know, ashes to ashes, you heard that? Dust to dust? Yeah. So the cells fall apart, they turn into dust. But we don't call it dust, we call them mineral salts. So you got all those mineral salts in the gallbladder, and where there's minerals, there's electricity. You got copper, iron, all this is pulling electricity, overheating the gallbladder. After a while, it makes sense to you. It really will. Of course, it can lead to menstruation problems, and the blood's too thick and it's toxic, and I got all that words for junk. We call it toxicity. We don't want y'all to know. Then you have the acid, and where there's acid, there is the loss of moisture. Yeah, you can follow along. I got a form up here, I just didn't get to it. I was just rushing to get the information so I can sit down, because I'm not him, man, right? So what I'm saying is where there's acidity, there's a loss of moisture. You may have seen a battery acid, you drop that acid on something, the water comes up. There's a loss of moisture. So that loss of moisture occurs in the uterus and prostate. It's losing moisture. It's drying up. The same thing that I mentioned occurs with white sugar. It pulls the moisture out of the nerves in the prostate, in the uterus, and the nerves are trying to tell the brain, say, I need some more calcium, I need some more minerals, send it down to the prostate. But the nerves are messed up. The prostate can't even tell it needs help. Because you're just acid, eating up all the nutrients, eating up all the air, eating up all the water, very destructive. So after a while, it kind of makes sense to you that you don't want to be too acid, you don't want to be too alkaline. Either extreme will take you out of here. Your body is built to deal with acid. It is not built to deal with alkalinity. Alkalinity will kill you dead as a doornail. Your body is used to dealing with acid. Phosphoric acid, sulfuric acid makes acid. So we don't want to go too far in either extreme. So I'm saying we want to get that pH in the area of 6.4 and 6.8. You follow me there? Then some people say, well, my urine is acid, my saliva is alkaline, I'm a schizophrenic. So you do a pH average, where you add up the results of a saliva test twice, one saliva test twice, and one urine test, and you add it up and you divide it by 3. And that gives you a pH average. You say, well, I'm acid. Now you know you should lean toward eating more alkaline foods. Now you know which way to go with the food, whether you should eat more alkaline food or more acid foods. We're just trying to get a basic understanding, some tool that we can use that you can take away from here and have something that empowers you to be more healthy. It's not enough for you to just sit there and just listen to me. You got to get up off your ass and do something. You know, you got to fight for your health. Everybody else is fighting for your mouth, McDonald's, the Burger King. You got to put up a fight too, or these clowns will take you over. So I'm trying to empower you to fight for your life. I run by the beach. I live on an island called Ladies Island. I don't mean to hurt none of your cheering feeling, but I live on an island that we got fresh air. That's something that they show on TV on the Discovery Channel. I know in New York you don't see that too much, but it's fresh air. Okay, and we got a little well, we get well water, you know, and I don't trust the well water because some crackers was living there before me. So I got an ozone and a purifier machine I attached to that because I don't trust that. So in any case, I go out and I run by the beach in the morning. I run about 2 miles and I do 100 push-ups because I'm an old man. I'm 57, so I don't try to do no whole lot of stuff. So I do that, and then I come home and drink another half a gallon of water, and then I eat later on, maybe after 12, because I can't eat in the morning. I don't know what to do with food in the morning. So I do all of that just... So one day I'm out there running, and there's a little... This guy, I think he's one of those... He's from another island. And you know somebody from another island, you can't, like, trust them. You know what I mean? So he's from over there on St. Helens Island, you know. It's like somebody from, like New Jersey, you know what I mean? So, they talk all right, but they're not the same. I mean, anyway, he's all right. So anyway, he sees me running, and one day he just couldn't take it anymore. He stopped me and said, "Hey, brother, why are you running all the time? You training for something?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, why are you running?" I said, "I'm running for my life." He said, "I knew something was wrong with you."